All right, every year when we put out the ATSNJ in 60 podcast, we always bring in the current ATSNJ president just for a recap of the last year, some key points, as well as a chance to really talk about some key initiatives this coming year. So Jessica Springstead, really excited to have you on here. Really amazing symposium this year in 2022. It was great to have everybody back together, and it was great. The education was just spot on with the topics this year. So thank you for your leadership in putting that together. And I really just want to take some time to speak with you kind of about a recap of the last year, some key takeaways with that, as well as some key things coming up for the rest of 2022 for athletic training in New Jersey. Jess is the current ATSNJ president. She's also the athletic training manager for the Matthew J. Morahan Center within the RWJBarnabas Health Network. So Jess, thank you so much for taking some time. Tell us about this last year. What's gone down in the state of athletic training in New Jersey?
Yeah, and thank you so much for allowing me to do this follow-up with you, and to everybody who was able to make it out to the conference. Thank you so much for your continued support. It was nice to see a lot of people. Everybody was extra chatty. I think we had a lot of pent-up conversations that we were trying to get in. So it was just great to see everybody and be able to safely engage in a great educational program. So thanks so much for that. We have not been, slacking by any means in the last year. As usual, athletic trainers are a bunch of overachievers. So, it's never enough to just do our day to day. Obviously still mitigating a lot of the challenges that the pandemic has presented with us. But I am exceedingly proud of the fact that at the beginning of 2021, we were able to help facilitate the administration of the vaccines. It was an extremely proud moment to be able to answer the call, stepping in and ensuring that everybody who could get the vaccine while we had it available. And that was great because normally for athletic trainers, we are not able to do such procedures, but we were given the inclusion from the Department of Consumer Affairs and the Department of Health because they knew they needed more hands, and we were always more than willing to help. So that was a great moment and great recognition to be included in that rollout with all the vaccines. So that was amazing. And as well as being able to assist with our collegiate settings, helping them to manage the testing and the requirements that NCAA put down, allowing them to help with the testing, especially when it was revolved around their travel, working with their health services and ensuring that the athlete safety while still being able to have their season go. So that was another great acknowledgement for us and including us in that process. We also spent a better part of the year reevaluating our relationship with our executive director, the previous one, and what are the needs of the society as we moved forward. Although we had that relationship for several years, it was our first contract with an executive director, so we felt it was a great time to review what that looked like and reshift our focus. It's no surprise that financially the world has been in a different place. We had to ensure that we are spending our money wisely and getting the most out of that contract. So we ended up reevaluating our job description for that, and we did end the contract with the previous executive director. We had a task force put together of past presidents, and they were able to make their recommendations so that the executive council could vote upon them. And we just signed the contract moving forward with our next executive director. It is the Todd Von Dijk Associates, and we will be putting together a little fireside chat with their group coming soon within the next month, so we can talk a little bit about who they are, why we chose them, and what they're going to be doing for us moving forward. So that took a good chunk of the year, but I think it was a great exploratory process for us. Some meetings I felt like it came out with more questions than answers, but it was a great reflection. And it's kind of interesting because I was there for the onboarding of the first executive director, and now coming to full circle with a new one. So really looking forward to seeing them work with our society, helping to gain some more sponsorship, as well as working with our lobbyists to move forward with our legislative acts. Which brings me to that portion. Last year we were able to get the I would say the trifecta of the athlete safety package. The concussion law was released and officially signed by the governor in September to be effective immediately, which required just updated the 6-step return to play. So really in lines with what the CDC guidelines are, which is what we had been doing, but it was part of the sport safety package, which included the requirement for emergency action plans, for heat illness management, as far as cool first, transport second, and then lastly was the concussion bill returning back to activity, safely. So that was great that we were able to do that. And just as a point of reference, some of you have heard this, but last year in 2021 there were 11,000 bills on the table, and we got ours pushed through. So, and a small drop in the bucket, but a great stride for us. So, to know that happened with such a big pool, and we still got through, is very rewarding. And then this year we did have our Practice Act situated with our Assembly and Senate sponsors to open up our Practice Act to review not only the definition of our patient population, but also some of the scope of practice that we are allowed and trained to do, just to modernize our Practice Act to appropriately reflect the training that is coming from our students, and obviously for us seasoned athletic trainers, as we go back and do some hands-on workshops to match the students who are coming out. So despite a lot of the challenges, we've been very busy, and we've got a lot of stuff planned for this year as well.
Very exciting. It's been a very busy year. Thank you to you and the executive team, the leadership of the ATSNJ for pushing all that stuff through. What's next for us? What can we expect this year? What are our goals? And kind of in addition to that, what's a call to action you have for athletic trainers kind of centered around those goals?
Sure. So actually, we're really focusing with our lobbyists, the Coffin Zeta group. Eric Orlando is our specific, go-to guy on a day-to-day basis, with our governmental affairs committee, as well as our JAPAC, which is our political action fund that allows us to do these things. So, we had a really productive committee day at our executive council meeting where I have asked our committees to learn how they are stakeholders in this whole engagement process with our legislative acts, and how can each one of their committees really reflect and make an impact on our actions that are going to be over the next, at least 7-8 months or the remainder of the year to potentially get either the Assembly or Senate to, put our athletic training bill up, for vote. And so we really wanted to make sure we were strategic in the way we utilize our resources, ensure that everybody is able to, maybe attend some of these political events. So our lobbyists put together a budget, and they kind of prioritize the key players that we need to connect with, hopefully over the course of the year, whether it's new people on some of these elected positions. There was a lot of upsets, and also just revisit with some of our continued supporters, and just let them know that we're still here, what we're looking to do. So we really have to kind of try to use our time wisely, use our money wisely, as it comes out of the political action fund, and see what's appropriate. This way we can get enough face time to let them know we're around, what we've been doing. I would really like to capitalize on everything we've been able to engage in during this pandemic, and let them know that we are more than capable, and that we'd really like to continue our progress with that. So with that being said, my call to action would be is whether you're a committee member or not, you are still a member of the athletic training profession, and hopefully of our national association, NATA, as well as our state association, ATSNJ, which means, you should feel a little compelled to support and promote your profession, because this will only allow you to continue to treat the patients in the capacity with which we are trained to do. As I mentioned before, really modernizing our Practice Act to reflect the training credentials that we have. We are a unique healthcare profession. We are licensed by the Board of Medical Examiners, as you all should know, but we have a few other standards that we're held to that no other health profession is, which is good and bad. It makes it a little bit more challenging for us, but it's also just to show them how capable we really are to treat the patients that we're allowed to be treating. So I will, call to you that when we have asked for maybe, flood the calls of your local Senate or Assembly people to, annoy them so much that they tell us to call off the dogs, because it's happened before. And I would love to have that told us to again. Or if there's something where we ask you to educate your employers, or, reach out to physicians that work with you to speak on our behalf, whatever it might be, there's probably going to be a significant amount of grassroots efforts as we really try to be productive and get those bills back up for vote this year at least. We're prepared with all of our documents. We're ready to go. So at any moment, we would be going to an event to try to get those 30 seconds of fame with whomever's event it is, to just let them know who we are, why we're here, and what we can do for the patients and our community.
Jessica, very exciting to see what's happening in New Jersey. I'm proud to be a part of this state here in the realm of athletic training. It's exciting to see where things are going. So thank you for your leadership with that. Thank you for your time and for the recap today. And looking forward to the great things that are going to happen, throughout the rest of 2022.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity. And I just want to wish everybody happy National Athletic Training Month. Again, I hope we're taking this time to really highlight what we do and promote ourselves, because we're not usually good at that, but we do need to brag a little bit.
Awesome. Absolutely. 100%.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Have a great day.
You too.